Really, it's just show up.
Our country is spending billions of dollars on vaccine, and now comes the hard part, getting people to show up for a shot.
It takes a little bit of pressure off your brain because, you don't have to sit there and worry.
Plus, the world reacts to the conviction of former officer Derek Chauvin in Minneapolis. And police want to find the Lexus driver who threw a dog out the window on a highway.
It really hits our hearts.
It's supposed to get warmer as winter turns to spring. In Colorado, it's 80 degrees in the middle of March, and here it is snowing on April 21st.
Yeah, and if history is any indication, this probably won't be the last snowstorm of the year. Denver's average last snowfall is April 28th. The record is actually June 2nd.
All right, let's hope this year's not a record. Mike Nelson tracking things tonight. So how much this time, Mike?
A couple of inches over the metro and about 6 in the mountains. But right now it's looking pretty snowy downtown. This is the view at the state capitol. The roads are wet, but the streets are just part of it. The grass is definitely white. It's kind of a rain-snow mix-up in Westminster. The heaviest bands are on the north side of downtown Denver, extending up toward DIA. It's much, much lighter down to the south, Centennial, and the Aurora area. And it does extend back into the mountains. We don't have any advisories in effect, but could see locally up to about 6 inches elevations above 9,000 feet. And it's almost all northern Colorado. Check out farther to the south. It's 65 degrees right now in Montrose, 55 at Trinidad. So we're right on the northern edge of this snow. So tonight it is snow showers with a few inches in the mountains. We get rain showers tomorrow and then thunder showers on Friday, but much warmer and drier weather is coming our way for the weekend.
Thank you, Mike. Nearly 1,500 new coronavirus cases were reported in our state just today, even as the vaccine effort continues at its steady pace. 27% of our state right now is fully vaccinated.
And with the first wave of the vaccinations in the books, the state now is trying to make the process easier for the people who've been holding out.
Starting today, you can show up at several of the state's vaccination clinics and get your shot right there on the spot. No appointment necessary.
Denver7's Liz Gilardi talked to people who were in and out in less than an hour.
Just show up.
Cars lined up in the snow at this mass vaccination site in Denver. No appointment needed.
Me and my dad just decided we were going to come and get our vaccination. It's about time. We haven't done it yet, so we wanted to come and get vaccinated.
Fonte Castillo and her dad Rick heard they could just drive up on the news, so they hopped in the car and headed to Ball Arena.
So I told her, let's go do it. It's a good time to get it done and get it out of the way.
And in less than 45 minutes, they were able to get their vaccines.
They can administer up to 5,000 doses each day, and we'd really love to see all of those appointments filled.
But with the snowy and cold weather today, it seems like many people wanted to stay inside. Here at the Ball Arena site, people getting their vaccine were able to get in and out pretty quickly.
Walk-in vaccine appointments are now available at the Ball Arena in Denver, the Ranch Events Complex in Loveland, and at the Colorado State Fairgrounds in Pueblo.
We're trying to make it as easy as possible.
SCL Health started noticing a shift in demand within the past week. When the vaccine first became available, the appointments they released filled up in just an hour.
What we've seen now is when we post appointments, it may take a day or two to fill many of the appointments. And this week, we've seen a pretty dramatic shift, and there's still about 1,000 appointments available over the next week within our system.
So if you couldn't find an appointment that worked with your schedule, now you can just walk up or drive up.
This is maybe that next stage of the people who maybe don't do so much of the appointment setting and planning ahead. And we absolutely want to see you.
Liz Gilardi, Denver7.
The governor visited the ranch in Larimer County today. It is being used as a walk-up site. He emphasized the process is supposed to be easy. The idea behind these expanded walk-up clinics is that they work better for shift workers, people with irregular schedules. And often those are also underserved communities who are getting vaccinated at a lower rate.
You don't need to have any insurance. You don't need to have any identification. You can be asked for insurance, and if you have it, you can provide it, because some providers will bill insurance, and that's fine. It won't cost you any money. But if you don't have it or don't want to show it, you're under no obligation to do that. It is free for everybody.
And you don't have to be from Colorado to use these clinics. The governor said today it is important to vaccinate as many people as possible, period.
On Friday, a CDC panel could lift the pause on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Researchers are still investigating any link between the vaccine and rare blood clots in 6 women. Johnson & Johnson, however, is facing fresh scrutiny over a Baltimore plant where that vaccine was being produced. Today, the FDA said it is shutting down that facility over quality concerns. 15 million vaccine doses made at that plant failed quality control last month, and an inspection revealed many safety practices were not being followed. Johnson & Johnson says the Baltimore issue will not affect the CDC's decision on a vaccine pause.
After his conviction for the murder of George Floyd, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is reportedly spending 23 hours a day in solitary confinement for his own safety. He's currently being held in Minnesota's only maximum security prison. Activists and the president say the guilty verdict is a step on the path to extensive police reform. Rita Roy has more from Minneapolis.
Derek Chauvin, now a convicted murderer, back in a jail cell Wednesday after a jury found him guilty on all 3 charges in George Floyd's death.
We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty.
The former Minneapolis police officer showed no emotion as he was handcuffed in the courtroom Tuesday, moments after learning his fate.
I watched him put his hands behind the back, and I was like, he had it a lot easier than my brother because my brother's hands were pent.
The jury of 7 women and 5 men, which included 6 people of color, deliberated nearly 10 hours without sending a single question. Chauvin will be sentenced in about 8 weeks. Prosecutors intend to ask for enhanced sentencing because the crime was committed in front of minors, including 9-year-old Judea Reynolds, who testified on the witness stand.
My mom said that we brought change. My dad said we won.
And now the entire Minneapolis Police Department under federal investigation. The Department of Justice looking into if there's a pattern or practice of unconstitutional or unlawful policing.
It will include a comprehensive review of the Minneapolis Police Department's policies, training, supervision, and use of force investigations.
The White House now urging Congress to pass a sweeping police reform bill named in George Floyd's honor.
We can and we must do more to reduce the likelihood that tragedies like this will ever happen and occur again.
The 3 other officers involved in this case are set to be tried in August. They've pleaded not guilty. Rena Roy, ABC News, Minneapolis.
Greenwood Village Police are asking everyone to be on the lookout for this woman tonight. Her name is Kim Lerjun Tharangol. She was reported missing last Monday. She has not been seen in a month. Her last known whereabouts are the Bellevue Light Rail Station in Greenwood Village.
And police believe the pickup driver in this photo hit a person on a scooter last night near the 16th Street Mall. The truck appears to be an early 2000s Dodge Dakota. And if you know anything about either of these cases, please call police.
And Jefferson County deputies are trying to solve a disturbing case of animal cruelty tonight. This dog was thrown out of a Lexus on Highway 76 yesterday afternoon.
Of course, tonight all of us are wondering why. Denver7's Gary Brode spoke to the vets who tried to save this dog's life.
An innocent pet thrown out. It was here along I-76 just before the Sheridan Boulevard exit where the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says this poodle mix was thrown out of what witnesses describe as a black Lexus sedan.
That's really tough on us. It's tough on every single person who loves animals.
Amanda Plank works for Foothills Animal Shelter in Golden, where the dog was immediately taken in for care.
We do our very best to provide compassionate care, especially to these kinds of cases that come in and hurt your heart.
Jeffco Animal Control says the dog's name was Teddy, and that they spoke to the owner who says someone took her dog.
The trauma to his body was so severe that they were not able to save the dog's life.
This is not the first horrific case of animal cruelty we've seen in recent weeks. This man was arrested back in March accused of dragging a dog by its leash behind a truck. While these high-profile cases get a lot of attention, neither the Jeffco